Hi guys, I'm Jen, and this is my first ever trying to conceive a vlog, and actually it's my first ever vlog, so I don't have a lot of notes. I have a few things written down, and I am going to just kind of do my best. Bear with me, I guess. I discovered trying to conceive vlogs as I have been on my journey for about 2.5 years now, and I found them very helpful to know that I'm not alone and that this affects more women than most people would think. And so if my videos can reach out to one or two women and help them out, that would be wonderful. And if not, it's kind of a therapeutic way to just get some things off of my chest that I've been dealing with. So I guess I will start at the beginning. My cycles have always been super irregular, anywhere from going months on end without a period to having a period that will continue for months on end, and it's just kind of all over the place, and they always have been since I was 12 years old and started my cycles. And so my husband and I have been married for a little over 2 years now, and that was in 2013, June of 2013. We got married and knew right away that we would want to start a family as soon as we could. And so we started trying, and we tried for a few months and nothing happened. And during those times I didn't have any periods. And then a few months into trying, I did get a period, and it would not stop. And so it was going on over 2 months of just nonstop bleeding, and that really puts a damper on when you're trying to have a baby. So I made my first doctor's appointment to discuss that. This was in February of 2014, and at the doctor's appointment, she took my history, and I had been on birth control for about 5 years. When I started when I was 16 to try to get my periods to regulate themselves, and then when I was around 21 we got off of it, hoping that it would regulate itself in the year that we were planning our marriage and our wedding, and it did not. So she suggested that I get on birth control pills to try to stop my period, and then we would go from there. So I did get on some birth control pills, and in the meantime they did an ultrasound to kind of check it out, and they said everything looked good, but that was about the extent of their testing. They just did a quick ultrasound and said everything was good. And so after taking the birth control pills that she prescribed me for about 3 months, 3 months, nothing was happening. And so I had been in contact with the doctor's office, trying to get someone to nurses to return phone calls, doctors to look over my things, give me some answers on what we could do next, since the pills were not working, and I couldn't get a hold of anyone. It was just a big headache, and so I decided to try a different doctor that I had heard great things about. And so I made an appointment and met this doctor in May of 2014. And his solution just kind of helps, with the situation, was to try Clomid. In the meantime, in there between the two doctor's appointments, my period did stop. But he suggested that we try the Clomid because he said, in his best opinion, I was not ovulating, which was what was causing me to obviously not have a period, and then have, I guess, pretty much fake periods that lasted for a very long time because my hormones were all out of whack. And so he thought the Clomid 50 milligrams would do the trick. And so we decided to go ahead and give it a try. And during that time, I had interviewed for a teaching position in another state, and I had been offered the job, and my husband and I were pretty sure we were going to accept that position and move, but we wanted to go ahead and give this Clomid a try first and see if that helped. And obviously it did not work. So we moved in So we decided not to do another round of Clomid until we moved and found another doctor in our new state. So we moved in July of 2014. And when we got established and I got on my school's insurance and things like that, I went ahead and got a referral to an endocrinologist. And this endocrinologist, I met with him, and I had not had a period in quite a while. And so he wanted to see if I would start on my own. And when I did, he wanted to do all sorts of blood tests to figure out my hormone levels and all of that good stuff to see where I was, what we were working with, basically. And so we waited, and it's just such a waiting game, and I waited and waited and waited till my period started. It seemed like an eternity. It was really only a couple of months and I started one. So when I started it, I went in and got all of that blood work done, and he looked over my blood work and said, really everything looks pretty normal. A few hormones are a little on the higher end of normal or the lower end of normal, but everything was in a normal range and looked good, and that he would like to start me on 50 milligrams of Clomid. And so we went ahead, and we had done it once before, and we were comfortable with doing it again. So we decided to take that route. And so I took the Clomid in, this was February of 2015. This would have been this past February. And in March, I was expecting my period, and it was late, and so I took a few tests, and they were negative. And at the end of March, when I was expecting, around when I was expecting my period, but it was a little late, I started getting one night this awful, terrible cramp in my abdomen that I assumed was a period cramp, only it never ended. It was just one long cramp, and whereas your usual period cramps, they come and go, they ebb and flow a little bit, and this was not. And I thought, well, maybe because I've never really had a real period, maybe this is just my body saying, hey, this is a real period. You're just going to have some miserable cramps for a few days, and then it'll work out. So I was just kind of dealing with it. I went to bed with a heating pad and was able to fall asleep. I got up the next morning, went to school to teach. I did sit there with my heating pad all day because the cramps were not going away. And by the end, that was on a Tuesday morning. Monday night was when the period cramp started, and then Tuesday morning I just kind of pushed through it, went to school with my heating pad, taught all day Tuesday. By Tuesday night, I started to feel a little bit of relief. I was feeling a little bit better, still some crampiness, but not too bad. I go to a workout class twice a week, and Monday and Wednesday mornings, and so I told my trainer on Wednesday morning that, I was just having these terrible cramps and I'd like to take it easy. So I exercised, and I thought it helped, at least for a little while. And so all of Wednesday I was pretty much back to just some dull cramps, but nothing too terrible. And then that Thursday I was fine all day, and we had parent-teacher conferences for the spring after school on that Thursday. And right as the school bell kind of let the kids out, my cramps came back with a vengeance, and I had to sit through all of these parent-teacher conferences all night on Thursday night, and I was in so much pain. I had my heating pad, I was taking tons of ibuprofen. By the time I got home that Thursday night, I had tried Gas-X. I thought maybe I was having terrible gas, maybe, I tried that. I tried a stool softener, thinking that might have been a problem. I took tons of Advil, ibuprofen, Midol. Nothing was relieving it. And so Thursday night, my husband was getting things ready for bed, and we were walking up and turning out lights and things, and I was sitting on the couch, and I got up. When I went to get up to go to bed, I just had this excruciating pain that started in my abdomen and shot up to my shoulder and down my arm, and I started to kind of seize a little bit in pain. I was writhing, and I realized something is terribly wrong, and so I shouted for my husband to come and I let him know that we needed to go to the hospital because there was something